In this video, I'm going to show two major things. The first is that I'm going to use the best baking to smooth method from my last video on more complicated 3D pen creations. I want to show how fast and easy it can be. And this means that there will be no sanding at all in this video. The second is that I'm going to introduce you to a brand new 3D pen technique that I came up with, which allows you to easily duplicate your 3D pen creations. I call this method 3D pen cloning, and for a test case, I'm going to use Ditto, a cute Pokemon. Let me very briefly describe this process so you can see why I gave it a new name. To start, you make an initial model using standard 3D pen techniques. Then you use this model to make a mold out of clay. Once you have the mold, you can easily and quickly make foil versions of your initial model. From there, you cover the foil copy with a single layer of filament and then bake to finish it. If you haven't seen my Baking to Smooth 3D pen creations video, I definitely recommend checking it out because it explains lots of details, such as why I use foil infill. So why do I call it cloning and not molding? Well, this method does use a mold, but only to make foil copies, which we then coat with our 3D pen and finish in an oven. So to me, it seems like something very different and new. And I'm not pouring plastic directly into these molds. I've always wanted to find a technique that lets me duplicate my 3D pen creations without going through the exhausting labor of smoothing and sanding over and over and over again. At the end of this video, I talk about how much time this new process can save you. Let's now take a look at the details. To make the initial model, which we use to make the mold, I use standard 3D pen techniques, so I'll move quickly through its construction. Once I have the shape to my liking, I'll cover it with a single layer of filament and then bake it in my toaster oven to smooth it. Alright, don't worry. I made this Ditto red so you can tell that it's the initial model that I'll use to make the molds. Time for some super quick smoothing. Now I only did one round of baking to smooth, and I wasn't too worried about the finish. I made the mold in two pieces and used this blue painter's tape to split it in two down what's called the parting line. Then just add some clay, trim it up, and then get ready to bake the mold in the oven. Here's what the mold looked like after baking. You can see that there was some sticking to the initial model. So for the opposite side of the mold, I added some cornstarch, which is supposed to help as a mold release, which means the initial model shouldn't stick as much. That works so-so. I'll probably keep experimenting with this in the future. These are the two completed sides of the mold, and we're ready to start cloning. So now we have to make our foil infill figure. Oof, that's a mouthful. The mold makes it really easy to pack the foil in and get a repeatable shape. This is half our foil figure coming out of the A side of the mold. And here's the B side. And with our powers combined, the mold is good at making repeatable shapes, but it's not great at resolving details, so I do some fine-tuning by hand. After getting the shape right, we add our blue painter's tape, and then the single layer of filament. Who's ready for a sweet baking time-lapse? The results for more complicated 3D pen creations differed a little bit from my Baking to Smooth video. I found that I had to do some patching, smoothing, and then a second round of baking. In terms of patching, I'm adding as little filament as I can so I don't have second layer melting issues. This is definitely a light smoothing where I'm just evening out the patches and any big ripples I see in the model. Baking time! After some experimentation, okay, a lot of experimentation, I found the process which I just showed. Please don't think I got it right on the first try. Keep in mind that the exact temperature and times will vary with different ovens, so this will definitely require some experimentation on your part. Alright, let's ramp up and do some cloning. Time-lapse double feature. Then patching and smoothing and rebake. Look at that shine and no sanding. When looking for some good pictures to help make the initial model, I came across this version of Ditto, which I thought was really funny. This helps me highlight another neat aspect of this technique, namely that it's flexible. You can use the mold to get the basic shape right, but then use it to make variants of the initial creation. Whoopsie. Why did I make him green? By this time I wanted to use a different color. I also thought this geometry would really test the baking smooth method, but I did do a little pre-smoothing before baking. I wanted to make sure none of these tight curves could fuse together during baking. Time for Ditto to flex. The complex shape held together pretty well and nothing fused together. I hope you know the method now. Patch, smooth, and then rebake. I may have gone a little thick on some of these patches and second layer additions. Amusing reminder of what happens when you add too much of a second layer. You get our friend the rain hat. Don't do that. Let's finish flexing. Now that we have our models all baked, we can work on adding the faces. I chose to do this using a black marker because it's way faster and safer than using the 3D pen itself. Especially because getting the face right is so important and kinda hard to do. But with a marker, if you do screw up, you can just use some IPA and wipe it away. Mr. Flex was especially hard, and I did a lot of wiping away. Here's a few final shots of all of them together. Don't forget to stick around to find out how much time this method saves. I was really pleased that the baking smooth technique held up with more complicated 3D pen creations. I mean, look at that difference. What are some problem areas to look out for if you're going to try this? Well, the two main areas I had issues with were bubbles and overbaking. For bubbles, try to ensure the filament sticks fully to the blue painter's tape and that there are no air pockets caught underneath. For tips, preheating your oven is essential to getting uniform melting on your model. One of the best things about this method is that you can rebake your model a bunch of times. Each time you can patch, re-smooth, and then bake again. This helps a lot with dealing with bubbles. So how much time does this method save you? After the mold is made, I was able to make a single clone of Ditto in about 60 minutes total, including baking time. I'd estimate that if I use standard 3D pen techniques, namely lots of hand smoothing and sanding, that it would take me 3 to 4 hours to make the same figure. That's a lot of time saved. And you can easily make a bunch of clones. So if I convince you to get a toaster oven to use for smoothing and 3D pen cloning, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. As I mentioned earlier, if you are interested in trying this method, I really suggest watching my other video on baking to smooth 3D pen creations. Or if you're interested in learning how to use a 3D pen, check out the tutorials playlist, which covers all skill levels. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.